All right, page 41. It says, do these results change your answer to the first question? No, because we said they weren't equal to start with, so no, my answer doesn't change. Here are two more quadrilaterals, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Kieran says the polygon EFGH is a scaled copy of ABCD, but Lynn disagrees. Do you agree with either of them? Well, let's look. 2 to 1 is multiplying by a half, so 2 times a half is 1. So 4 times a half is 2. Nope, those don't work, right? 6 times a half is 3. That's a 4. That doesn't work. 4 times a half is 2. Okay, so first of all, it's not a scale copy because the side measurements don't work. Secondly, we have to look at the angles. So first it was the side lengths. And then next it's going to be the angles. So 120, 120, 120, 120, 60, 60, 60, 60. So those ones work, but because this one doesn't work, they are not scaled factors, scaled copies. So for number 5, we're going to write, Lynn is correct because the corresponding distances are not multiplied by the same numbers. So Lynn is correct because the corresponding distances are not multiplied by the same numbers. And we figured that out because it's not scale factor, right? 1, a 2, and a 3. This should be a 1, a 2, and a 3, and they are not. It's a 1, a 3, and a 4. So not multiplied by the same numbers. Okay. All side lengths quadrilateral MNOP are 2. This is the R. You ready for more? Sorry, skip that part. All side lengths of quadrilateral MNOP are 2, and all side lengths of quadrilateral QRST are 3. Does MNOP have to be a scaled copy? Explain your reasoning. So let's think about that. Does it have to be a scaled copy? No. MNOP could be a square, and QRST could be a rhombus that is not a square, right? So you could have a square, and you could have a rhombus. And they could be the same to go from 2 to a 3, right? 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. So that wouldn't work. Yeah. Since the angles are different, MNOP is not a scaled copy of QRST. So we would say no. They do not have to be scaled copies. Okay. 4.4, comparing pictures of birds, is an interactive digital version. This is our QR code for this one. Okay, if you scan this, it will come up online. You can play with it online. It says here are 2 pictures of a bird. Find evidence that one picture is not a scaled copy of the other. Be prepared to explain your reasoning. So we turn the page to page 42. Here are those birds. All right, so we need to figure out if they are scaled copies or not, right? Let's look at some angles. So I'm going to take the angles of their wings from about right here and right here and right here. So here is where they cross over, and then here is where it connects on the very tip right there. So those 3, I'm going to make my triangles to compare the birds. So if you have your ruler, you should be connecting some dots. I'm just picking these parts of the bird. You can pick other angles to see if they line up or not. And then if you have a protractor, that's great. If not, you can always just use a measurement of the angles and compare them. And I'll show you what I mean. So you have your 2 triangles, right? It says corresponding angles should match if they're scaled copies. Let's check it out. So if you have a protractor, you can just measure the angles and see what it is. If you don't, you can always use a Post-it. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can take the Post-it and say that it's going to be, let's see. Well, I wish it was like, you could actually do tracing paper, not a Post-it, tracing paper. So you'd have to have tracing paper and you'd have to measure the angle from here to here. So you could always use the Post-it and cut the angles. That's what I was going to do. Is I'm going to put this here, and I know that it goes right here. I gotta try to do my, let's just measure it with my protractor. From here to here, about 50 degrees. So this one is 50 degrees, and here to here is the corresponding angle. It's about 33 degrees, about 33 degrees. 50 and 33 do not match. So that's like one thing that does not match, okay? Just by looking at those triangles, you should see that this one is thinner and it's more pointed. This is like a longer piece, and this one is shorter. So you should be able to visually see that too. So we're going to write corresponding angles do not match. So they're not scaled copies. They can't be scaled copies. I would recommend using the app with that QR code to actually measuring it if you don't have a protractor. You can always print a protractor out and cut this middle piece out on your piece of paper protractor, and you could use it if you need a piece of paper one. Okay. So yeah, lesson 4 summary. We're almost done. Page 42. Lesson 4 summary. When a figure is a scaled copy of another figure, we know that. Well, we know that. Turn the page. Page 43. All distances in the copy can be found by multiplying the corresponding distances in the original figure by the same scale factor, whether or not the endpoints are connected by the segment. For example, polygon STUVWX is a scale copy of polygon ABCDEF. The scale factor is 3. The distance from T to X is 6. So from T to X is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 3 times the distance of B and F. 1, 2. 2 times 3 is 6. It is 3 times the distance. Therefore, it is a scale factor of 3. All angles in the copy, number 2, all angles in the copy have the same measurement as the corresponding angles in the original figure as in these triangles. So we have 42 matches with 42, 60 matches with 60, and 78 matches with 78. Okay, those are all corresponding angles. The observations can help explain why one figure is not a scaled copy of another. Not. For example, even though their corresponding angles have the same measure, the second rectangle is not a scaled copy of the first rectangle because different pairs of corresponding lengths have a different scale factor. So to go from 2 to 1, we have to do 2 to 1. 2 times a half gives us 1. But 3 times a half is 1.5, right? And in this picture, it's a 2. So it would have to be 3 times 2/3 to get 2. So because the first one we're multiplying by 1 and the second we're multiplying by 3/2, not a scale factor. Okay? And that is lesson 4. Have a good day.